Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of High Energy Girl. And today is part 2 of the series for the quantum healing system. And today we're featuring Darlene so she can actually review all of the different charts that she tests for with a few different patients, or we call them members. So Darlene tests for chiropractors and naturopaths. She uses electrical dermal screening to help her clients with issues. And here she's going to show some before and after results of her clients that use the QT Wave, which is a personal device manufactured by Quantum Healing Technologies. She has been a BioScan tester for 18 years, and if you really want to get a good overview of what she's showing, you might want to go over to the YouTube channel and check it out. That's High Energy Girl over on YouTube, and you'll want to look for Darlene Rosselli. The proof of concept that is showing for the members tested is phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see the results for myself and my family. So let's go and say hello to Darlene. Hey everyone, welcome to High Energy Girl, a podcast helping women to age stronger because it is never too late to get fit, be strong, and feel sexy. I'm your host, Tracy Gluhide, health coach and personal trainer and founder of highenergygirl.com. Each week we will either have a guest interview which will provide you encouragement or an actionable tip to help you age stronger, or I will do a solo episode. Please also join our awesome Facebook group called High Energy Girls, and I'm looking forward to see you on the inside of that group and hope you enjoy today's show. Sleep is completely underrated, and so many women our age struggle with a really solid night's sleep. You want to know how I fixed it for me? Well, one of the things I did was I got a chili pad because I was always too hot and I'd be like tangled up in my covers, kicking them off, pulling them on. I could never find that sweet spot temperature, you know, the whole Goldilocks thing, too hot, too cold. And then I got a chili pad. My husband has his own control. I have mine, so I keep mine way cooler than he likes it. I'm never overly hot anymore. It is fabulous. And I even use it all winter long because you can adjust the thermostat any way you like. And I really love the white noise, the little hum that it plays. So the Chili Pad company, which is called Chili Sleep, has lots of amazing new products. They have pillows, bed sheets, weighted blankets, and the old-fashioned mattress protector chili pad that I have. It is amazing. So for a special discount price, head on over to bit.ly/chillsleep, CHILLSLEEP, and you will be thanking me later. Hey, Darlene, thanks so much for coming back on the show, girl.
It's good to be back. Yes. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's just a huge pleasure. So I'm super excited for you to show everybody the data based on the conversation that we had the other day. So why don't you preface this before we do the screen share? Tell them a little bit about what you do and what we're going to be seeing on the screen here pretty quick.
Okay, so the software I use and the data that we come up with, I'm mainly measuring inflammation of the organs. And so those are based on 58 points. Those are the meridian points. And meridian points are energy pathways to your organs. So it picks up that flow pattern. And then the equipment I use is a galvanic skin response. It basically, the conductor is the person holding the copper device, and then I'm picking up their energy. And so from the points, then it does an accurate reading. And that's what we're going to show in the graphs of the inflammation of the organs. You know, back years ago, I don't know, when we were listening to Dr. Oz, remember Dr. Oz? He said that your age is your inflammation. Well, how do people know what their inflammation rate is, and especially according to each organ. So when you have inflammation of the organs, that is aging, and it's also pinpointing nutritional deficiencies, mainly is what we use it for.
Okay, excellent. So let's go ahead and I'll do a screen share of the PowerPoint.
Basically here, these are the tests that I do personally. Now, these tests are pretty close to blood and what's going on now. We can't do that with the hair remote, but we can get an idea with the hair testing as well. So you have 6 phases of life. So the phase 1 and 2, those are, balanced. When you are in phase 3 and 4, that's where inflammation, that's where diet and exercise aren't enough. That's where we go in and we can determine what your nutritional needs are. Now, when you're in 5 and 6, you don't want to be there because that's pretty much in the red. That's where degeneration happens. That's when the organs are getting weaker. And what I've seen with these reports, you'll see how people get better. Now, this is a friend of mine, and she basically, I've been testing her for a long time, and she always was in the red. I didn't show that red chart because, this goes back, we did, starting from January 8th, this is her last test when I tested her. Now, back when she started, down at the historic chart, you'll see in August, she started the device. And then in October, look at how she really got totally out of the red. I mean, most of the time she's in the 5th and 6th phase with her lymphatic system because of her issues. So this was phenomenal. And this is what I showed Cynthia. But then now, she's still, she's going back and forth. This is normal. Now in January, she traveled, she got off her diet, things happened, but still she's not in the red. But most of her numbers, when you see 1 and 2, nutritionally, she's pretty sound, but she still needs some work right here. So, she is getting better, and that, we'll just go on to the next one here.
So let me just confirm what you're saying. So at the top of these charts, there's numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 are green, 3 and 4 are yellow, and 5 and 6 are red. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
So here's a person, when they first started, this was in October, and they weren't too bad. I mean, this is where nutrition, vitamin supplementation, and it'll work. They can get out of the yellow. Well, then when they started wearing the device, this is what we're trying to show people. Don't panic if you're not feeling it or not feeling better, because a lot of times, like we were saying, you have to go through that die off to get to a better place. So here's this person in November, and they were in the red. They were worse. Well, he was, having some issues, and he went through a lot of detoxification. He says, so we have to not fear the device. We have to let it do its job. And then in the long run, what he did supplementation, and we found out things that he needed to do. And then here he came back to me in February, and look where his numbers are now. Mm-hmm. So, the way we have to look at this device is just know that it takes at least 90 days to see some really good results if you're having this kind of work done, this testing.
People have to realize that they didn't get to this way overnight. It takes decades to achieve all this inflammation in your body, and we can't expect it to disappear overnight. But I want to comment on number 2. So you did the first one in October, and then the second one in November, where we're showing increases in most areas, including red in 2 different line items. And it's basically just like when you get a facial. You go get a facial, and then all of a sudden you're going to get a little breakout as all of the toxins purge out of your body. But then look at the huge difference. He's only in the yellow in 2 line items.
Right. And he waited about 2 more months. So that's really a good improvement. And normally I don't see this type of improvement for about 6 months to a year in people. So I'm seeing pretty, with them wearing the device, it's, it's really increasing their ability to heal when I see these kind of reports. So, when you're measuring inflammation of the organs, this is telling you right here. This is as accurate as we can get to blood. So blood is old news too. So this, there's nothing that really kind of shows the inflammation. So I really am impressed, and he's feeling better. I mean, he's coming in again. So now I have people coming in every 2 months to get a better result. And then we're going to be testing people with the home device as well. So we'll see some really good numbers there.
And that home device, you're going to see rapid results if it's 100 times as powerful as the personal device, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So it should be devitalizing pathogens. And that's kind of what we are doing right now in the first phase, because, you've got pathogens that are, we're talking about environmental, chemical, bacteria, viruses, parasites. There's a lot of issues to address what our body's been going through for a lot of years.
Right. And then this is the third one. Now, this one looks like it's in a different order. So the initial one is in the bottom right, and then it goes kind of backwards, right?
Yeah, look where the active chart is the most current.
Okay.
So yeah, some of those did get a little messed up here. But basically, this person started around, it looks like
September.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of us started in August wearing these devices. And we had, like we're on our third prototype. And so then they came back. I was having them come every month. So he has less yellow, if you notice, and more of the numbers are in the first and second phase.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good sign that he's absorbing nutrients. And that's what we look for too, is, a lot of times you can be taking all these nutrients and they're not breaking down. They're not going anywhere into the bloodstream. And then, okay, so then we got November and then we got January. So yeah. And when you don't see any numbers, that means that skin is really improved, because look on the top chart, 1129, his skin was in the second phase, almost in the third, because when it almost gets that high, and then it completely healed. So we know that the skin is doing better. And then we look at the pancreas, we look at the endocrine system. Look at the endocrine system. That's your pineal. That's showing me that person's sleeping better.
Nice.
And, yes. And the lymphatics, they're draining, but here, the liver and the urogenials, and there is some issues there physically that he has. So, it's showing pretty accurate results here. I mean, I'm amazed when I go
I'm sorry. Does the results, are they reflective of also their lifestyle changes, or is this just by using the personal device?
Well, they're changing their lifestyle a little bit, but not completely. Like times that I've had to really repair my body, I've had to really go on a diet or really a program for 6 months to get well. So no, they're not having to really change completely. They still can eat sugar and drink alcohol, and it's working. The device is helping that issue with inflammation.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
But I don't see anybody that I'm testing that's really gone through a major life change. No, they're not changing that much.
So this is an easy way for those people who are inspired to change their lifestyle.
Yes.
Cool.
And then it also lets you know. So here here's a person. Okay. So the historic chart there, okay, that's the lymphatic drainage. It was in the red. And then you've got your endocrine. So, the person was having hormonal thyroid, I mean, it's just, you can tell right here, the fifth and sixth phase. And then still, the second time she came, the endocrine system still was in the red. So we had to look at that. And basically, I think she did get on some thyroid support. And then here, she's totally out of the red in November. And then in January, she's still, her numbers are moving more and more towards phase 1 and 2, even though she still has inflammation in basically the metabolism and the endocrine. So something's going on, it could be like the digestive issues that happen and in your stomach. 80% of your immune system is your stomach, but our immune system is getting much better. It's the bottom line. And I always look at that. Now, back when she started, her immune system was strong, and then it got a little worse around November, and then it got better again. So, it's, keeping these charts, that it's like a report card of what your body's doing now while you wear the device.
What's the one on the active chart that's totally like no green?
That means, okay, that's the pancreas. So what we're finding is a lot of people that are wearing this device, they're especially the diabetics, they are using less insulin and their blood sugar has gone down quite a bit. So we'll go into that with the graph, because that's when I separated the organs and I determined what organs really had improved more than the others.
Okay. And then number 5, wow.
Yeah, this is a 27-year-old boy. And let me tell you, he's been through a lot. So when I see these numbers, this is autoimmune disease, cancer, it can, if people stay in that phase for a long period of time, yeah, their body goes into a major crash. So, when he came to me, he wasn't feeling good. And so this was in October, and then we addressed some issues, and then basically it was all about detoxification, looking at what he eats, and he had, he's not really doing a complete diet change, but we got him on some things that would help him eliminate and get rid of the issues, the pathogens that were occurring. And so in the 19th, oh no, wait a second. This is another person. I'm sorry. I got her mixed up, but this is a 27-year-old female, right? She is really improving. So I was very impressed, because I was really concerned. And so now when she came back to me, I'm not concerned anymore. I know she's absorbing nutrients. I know she's wearing her device. It's helped her with depression. And you can see her nervous system. Look where her nerves were back here in October. She was in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
She was very depressed. And now look at where she is now. Only now, this is almost 3 months ago. So I'm getting ready to test her again. I'll have another report and I'll follow up on that.
Okay.
That'll be interesting.
And for a young person, I mean, I feel like the last 3 years have been so hard on the older people as well as the younger people. So this will help heal. It will help people with all of that emotional issue, right?
Correct. And a lot of the younger people are testing worse. I'm having, the sons and daughters and the parents all come together, and the children are testing a lot higher. They're not as healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're coming, it's great that this technology's coming to where we can help them.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot of help, especially the little ones. Okay, and then this is the last of these type of charts.
So this is kind of based on all those tests that we've done. Now, I have a base of probably about 30 people that I test personally. And so what we did is I went in and I just kind of looked at other charts, and I saw where certain organs were improving. So things about, people saying that they're less depressed, or they're having more cardio, they can exercise better, or their pancreas, because their blood sugar is staying stable. They don't need as much insulin, or their high blood pressure is decreasing. And then here we've got, the endocrine system, the pineal, the thyroid. Well, that's showing right here. The blue is balanced. So the blue is showing higher in the pineal. Well, that's how we know that people are sleeping better. The pancreas, their sugar levels, the cardio, their heart, their respiratory, that's doing better. So most of these are balanced. Now, if you look at the digestive, which is in the first bracket here, the digestive isn't as balanced. So we know that what this is doing right now, the stomach is our issues. It's what we're eating. It's how we're detoxifying. We're, sweating. Sweating is important. Getting in a sauna, releasing that toxin. And how do we get the debris out of our guts? That's kind of what, this is where I see people improve when they start doing things that help those issues, like colonics and, those.
What about binders such as, charcoal, activated charcoal, or the clay? That actually is a binder that helps remove the toxins, because if you release it by sweating, but you don't have a way to eliminate it, those are really helpful too. Are you aware of that type of stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm, about crude fiber and all those, but you still, you can hold 15 to 20 pounds of debris in your stomach and not know it. So that's why colonics are important. And yes, they're very important. And I see people's numbers change quite a bit. And I'm a big believer on that. And also sweating, getting in a sauna, getting outside and sweating and breathing, getting that circulation moving, elimination. That's, a lot of things hold in our body, but we need to push them out. We need to allow it to come out of the body too. Because it likes to hold on to pathogens.
Great.
Yeah. So you have to go in there and kind of be a little bit of aggressive if you want to see your numbers change. Yeah, I always recommend a process of elimination.
Okay. Did you receive my hair sample yet?
No, not yet.
Gosh,
No.
I mailed it a week ago.
I'll go back and look. I mean, no, I haven't seen it, but I'll go back and look. Now, this is based on the hair studies I do.
Oh.
So right now, people are coming in with their fourth sample. And this is based on the third sample. So, this person's saying, oh, why am I not improving? Well, basically, they're going through a detox program. Sometimes it takes longer. And so then they wait 2 months now. I'm doing the testing in between 2 months. And now look at this person. They went from acute to balance. So here they were severely acute. Now, if you go to hit number 9 right there.
So let me just reiterate this so if people don't understand. So the column on the left that says visit number 4 is the most recent. And the column on the right, visit number 3, was last time, and they were in the reds, which isn't good. And they've moved over to the pink and the green primarily.
Right. See, these people, the tests I've been doing, they've sent me 3 hair strands. So what we're going by is the last hair strand to what they are now, which is visit 4. And what I'm doing here is I'm measuring every stressor. Now, this is based on stress that could be affecting their body and causing their body to be in a stress mode. So when you're in the red, that's severely acute. And this person, this is the meridians. So I have another file I go in, and since I can't scan them personally, like with the other tests, I just go in and I just have it measure all the stress factors of the organs. So this person, went from severely acute to acute. Now the goal is to get green, right? And so we're going to see that. But it's a process, and these tests are really giving us a baseline of how people are improving. And that's what we want to see. Now, I have a statistic, not everybody's improving, but the majority is.
I still feel like the people that aren't improving are the worst before better people. And that they'll eventually will. It just depends. It's like you said, the layers of the onion. You just got to get down to that good, sweet, juicy spot.
Right. And it's the same as like when stress is the leading causes of all diseases. So when you go in to see your doctor says you're just under a lot of stress. Well, does he know what stress you're under? No. So basically what this 100-point test is, it measures every form of stress there could be possibly affecting your outer world here and inner world. So we're looking at the pathogens, we're looking at, chemicals, we're looking at everything that could cause harm, allow your body of water to be in a relaxed state so you can cope. And when you see this, this person was acute, they had red in the cellular structure. And, this device is also doing that. It works on the cells. It recharges the cells. So we're seeing people cope more. And that's what we're looking for here. If you're in the balance mode, whether it's, more green to pink, that's great, because that's showing me that person is coping with their daily life.
And
wow,
that's amazing.
Let's look at their meridian here. Now, this one, she went chronic to acute to balance. So that's a good report. That's a good progress report.
Nice.
And this was the 5th one. Yeah. So I did 4 and 5. Yeah. Okay, let's see this. And this one is a person that, is pretty in good shape. At first they were acute, and now look at, they're going green. So we're seeing people jump color codes, they're moving in that direction. So then how I determined the report that next, so we saw where chronic to balance, acute to balance were more, that's improvement right there. And severely acute to acute, that was it based on, that's like 5%.
Is that the red?
No, the red was balanced to acute. So some people they got worse. So that's how I based the worse. They went from acute to chronic, balanced to chronic. Some people went from balanced to chronic. Well, a lot of times that's because they're going through that detoxification process. But most of them improved. So when you go down to 15, we kind of narrowed it down. So after I looked at, what was good and what was bad, basically, this is what we came up with, the 74%. So I wanted to show this so you can see how these statistics are going to show up in the website. And when you see these, we're going to update these every 2 months. And right now I'm coming out with a new report. This is from this was based on 3 hair strands. So now we're going to do 6. And we're going to base it from the time they started to the time that they are on the 6th strand. But right now, to show 74%, now Dr. A wants us to be 95. We're going to go for 95%. But this is good to have this overall change.
Do you feel like you'll hit the 95% number with the personal device? Or do you feel like you're going to need the home device in order to get to the 95?
Well, I think, if we just had the smaller device, I think in a year's time we would see that. The home device is going to boost that. Yes.
Well, yeah, because it hasn't even been a year.
I know.
So that's amazing. And I'm going to just say that watching my parents age is a frightening thing, because literally they go on a medication that has side effects that create another symptom. So then they have to go on another medication to combat that symptom. And the doctors aren't talking to each other. So my parents have gotten worse and worse and worse just as the years go, plus the stress. And when you say stress, it doesn't mean that you just had a bad day at work. It could be pollutants in your air. It could be toxins in your home. It could be the food that you're eating, the water that you're drinking. Those are all different types of stress, right?
Right. And the 100-point test goes over all that. Yes, there's so many things that contribute to our stress. And I just, I know when my partner, his mom died, she had a drawer full of prescription drugs. And then my sister-in-law, she's diabetic. She's got all these issues. And the same doctor was prescribing her all these drugs. So finally he went into the office with her. He said, "You killed my mom." Yeah, "You killed my mom." And she said, "What are you talking about?" So now we've got Carol under a different care, and she's wearing the device, and I'm going to be showing reports on her because she's diabetic and she's showing quite a bit of improvement. And she's wanting to shop. She's wanting to do things with me now. And, we're seeing mental issues changing. Now, the physical issues, now that probably won't take place until we get into the QR. But yeah, prescription drugs, one after another. And now, when I talk with my partner, I say, okay, it's nice to know that we're going to grow young together. We're not going to be old together. We won't be talking about our ailment. I can't even say, but, we're going to have, it's nice to know that we don't have to age anymore. And that's rewarding.
I was talking to Cynthia yesterday, and it's essentially, to me, it feels like almost like that near-death experience where God gives you another chance. And you hear all these people that have had these near-death experiences that all of a sudden they've got this renewal, this joy and excitement to live this life differently. Now that they've learned all these lessons and they realize the mistakes that we make, but it's all about failing forward. And now you get this fresh opportunity. What are you going to do with it? It's kind of exciting.
Mm-hmm. And the people that live in that Stockholm syndrome and they don't want change, I sent my girlfriend who's in that phase that video that we just did. And, I think she's having an awakening just by watching that video.
Really?
All the years that I worked with her, tried to test her. Yeah, and she's battling breast cancer right now. And when I'm trying to show her there's hope, there's other things to look at here. So yeah, we can just help one person, that makes a difference.
It's just a snowball effect. I feel like people don't know what they don't know. And they've been conditioned to believe a certain way because their doctors tell them, like my father, who his doctor said, didn't matter if you eat sugar, go ahead and eat sugar. And then my dad would get mad at me because he had cancer like 5 times. He said, my doctor said I could eat whatever I want. And I'm just like grinding teeth, pulling out my hair, but they don't know. And so if we could just educate and inspire people to make these changes along with this frequency and helping that, I feel like we're going to just turn the industry and turn wellness upside down. It's a complete 180.
Yeah, it is. And this device is going to help people change whether they want to or not. That's how I see it.
That's what Cynthia said. She said, actually, I don't remember if she said this about the home device because my head's exploding, but She said that the quantum consciousness, essentially, okay, I could be saying this wrong, but it's going to inspire us to want to make better choices in our food, in our movement, in our sleep, in everything. So it's going to be second nature.
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
Is that exciting?
Yeah, that's very exciting. And I see what, it's doing for me. I was in Whole Foods just a while ago and I saw a lot of cakes and cookies and, I didn't want them. Normally I would be reaching for them, but no, I went for the pressed juices and yeah, you want things that make you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You want to eat things that make you feel good.
Feel that oftentimes it has to do with our emotional state of being. So it's like clearly you're in a good emotional, strong space that's helping you determine and make those good choices. But some people aren't there. And I know that after hearing Alex Collier speak about the PTSD success, and so that tells me that there's this emotional, mental thing that is also happening that's going to inspire you just innately to make those choices.
Yeah, and that's what sugar does. Like people reach for sugar because it increases, it gives them that L-DOPA effect. And that affects the posterior pituitary gland and also your growth hormone. So then you crave more sugar and more sugar, but you want that vasopressin effect that helps with depression. So when people are reaching for sugar or alcohol, it's masking those symptoms. So it gives them a little bit of a charge and it doesn't last long. So they keep eating more and more and more. And that's what leads to, the emotions. So we do look at the emotions. And as you saw, the nervous system is getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And the pineal, because people are sleeping better.
Mm-hmm.
And sleeping regenerates your cells. So
right.
This works on a cellular level. It's constantly recharging your cells, just like, a battery charger. It's charging us just like we need to charge our cell phones. I look at this is my battery charger. If I don't have it, I'm not going to function properly. That's
right. And how long have you had yours since September?
August.
Okay. So I just want to comment on your skin, because I don't think we actually spoke about this on the show the other day, but your skin, like I don't see a single wrinkle on your face. Have you noticed?
It's tightening up. Yeah, my electrolysis, of course, I am producing more hair and also more hair here. I'm seeing new hair coming in because I have had, thyroid issues. So that can lead to your thinning of your hair as well. But she said, and she does all these laser treatments and Botox, and I don't do any of that because Botox is like, it's a pathogen going into your brain. It's botulism. It's dangerous. And so she goes, I wouldn't recommend anything for you, and I noticed I was having these lines. I mean, I'm 66 now and they're tightening up. So I know this is working on a cellular level. Even Cynthia, she's looking great. She's looking younger and younger too. So, when we get the home device and we get in that QR, skin is the frequency of 800,000 hertz. So it's going to repair our skin. That's why we're going to look 30 years younger. We'll have the same body. It's just like, remodeling a car or rebuilding a car. We're going to have the same body, but we're going to have new parts.
I have some parts that I need to renew. I think I need to make a list. I was thinking about this the other day, starting down at my toes. Like I have a foot that's pigeon-toed and I'm bow-legged and I have knee problems. And I was like okay, these are all the little things I'm going to work on that are going to be renewed. But I have a funny story for you. So I have this group of friends and they've all had face stuff done, shots, fillers, injections, things. And I have never done any of that because I just, like you said, I don't want to put stuff in my body.
And it
And
alters your looks too.
oh yeah, they look good. They all look good, but I have seen people that I don't even recognize after getting all that stuff done. I'm like, who are you? Like it looks different. So I told my friends one day, I said, we're gonna, because we go out once a month. I said, people are gonna see us and one day they're gonna think I'm your mom, right? Because I look, I'm not doing any of that, but not anymore. Now they're gonna want my secret, because one laser peel is gonna cover the cost of a whole home unit, and then then it helps everything else as well. So they're gonna like that.
Yeah, I know, I came from Nashville and a lot of music people, and there was a couple of women I knew that were just the prettiest women. I always would pick out who the gorgeous women are. And they started doing all those treatments, and they totally altered their looks. And so, yeah, I recommend age naturally, but with this device, we're gonna, it's gonna be an anti-ager. We won't need to do all the plastic surgeries and things that we've been thinking we have to do to look beautiful,
And in a way, it's very natural, because it's just calling on, okay, this is my understanding so far, but it's calling on the quantum etheric realm, right? And then it's just honing it in and bringing it into your environment.
Right. And then your body utilizes it and repairs what is needed. So
sounds pretty natural to me.
Well, it's programmed for the perfect female and male of 30 years old. And he did this years ago. So it's saying, okay, as it scans, it's saying, are you 30 yet? No. So it'll keep scanning until it gets perfected.
Wow. Cynthia said that that's going to be available. She's doing it next month. Right?
Yeah. That's surprising to me too. Yeah.
Wow.
But she's saying that it's true. Yes.
Yeah, she's a fireball, I'll tell you.
Well, she's very excited that this is now coming to be where we can share it, and it's safe to share it now.
Yeah, I'm so glad. That just gives us so much hope, that the word safe, that means that the good guys are in control. And to me, that means a lot. And I'm sure to you as well.
Yes.
As we shift our world.
That means to me, the pharmaceutical world is, we've got them under control, as far as allowing us to have this.
I found out about the whole pharmaceutical thing a long time ago, probably 2007, 2011. That was like a big learning time for me. And then I was telling people about it. And of course, many people don't believe me, but I was thinking about the movie Dallas Buyers Club, where Matthew McConaughey clearly shows what happened with the AIDS crisis. Do you remember? Did you ever see that movie?
What movie was that again?
Dallas Buyers Club.
No.
So essentially, Matthew McConaughey had AIDS, and he was in this community, and everybody had AIDS, and they were very sick, and modern medical treatment wasn't helping them improve in any way. And then he ended up finding all these really good, like vitamin C and all this good stuff down in Mexico. And he was in Dallas. And so it's a true story. And he would cross the border and then supply all of these people with, they were sick. And he would supply them with all of these supplements and things that were making them feel better. And the FDA broke in and shut him down. And I've seen that happen with other doctors that have been treating people, in the USA. And so
they were showing that in a movie to tell us the truth.
Exactly. Disclosure, right? Lots of movies, lots of disclosure. We just didn't realize it at the time.
In our faces, yeah. Just like these med beds, with Star Trek and what was that other movie, Asylum, where the woman had her daughter and she was trying to go up to use the med bed to heal her daughter, but
Ooh, I didn't see it.
only the elites could use it. That was, there were movies like that. Yeah, they were trying to tell us, but now we'll have movies, good movies. I can't wait to have
I can't wait either.
healthy movies.
I just,
yeah,
things that actually help you instead of hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay that they'll find out when it's time. So, all right, my darling. Well, I just want to thank you so much for finishing up this conversation that we didn't have time to do the other day. I think that showing people these results and these graphs are just phenomenal. So thank you for, opening up time.
Yeah, it's just part of the equation. And also, having people attend the Zoom calls and hear what people are saying.
Can you touch on that? Can you tell them how they can attend the Zoom calls?
Well, we have in the website, there is dates and the Zoom addresses that you can go to. And there's a handout that we can send to everybody if they want one. I sent one to you, so you could post that. And it lists the times and the call times, so anybody can join. And then they just need to put their first name in their Zoom message, not their last name.
And can you tell them what the website is again?
It's quantumhealingsystems.org, not .com, .org.
.org. And you have Zoom calls Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Is that what I remember?
I believe so. Yeah. I can't remember. I can look at the calls, but they're all listed. And then everybody, according to, now we have the front runners, which a lot of the new people will need to go on so they can hear how that, make sure that they've qualified for everything and learn how to do the surveys and the polls.
I will have all of that in the show notes so that people can just follow along.
Okay.
So we will put that on the show notes page so that people can see it visually. And you sent it to me, right? That instruction thing you sent me?
Right.
Perfect. All right, my darling.
Hey, and we're in the manufacturer's in Utah. And who lives there?
I know. I want to get him in a bed. We need him in a bed bad.
So I didn't know the beds were going to be available then in April. So that'll be helpful. Yeah.
If you can help me with that, he's not healthy. So that would be really cool if we could get him there.
Okay. I'd be glad to.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, my darling. It was a pleasure to see your beautiful face again, and we'll talk soon.
Same here.
Okay, that was awesome. I sure hope that you were able to see these results instead of just hearing them. So please make sure you head on over to the YouTube channel. While you're there, give us a subscription. Just go ahead and subscribe, and then that way you will not miss the next episode. For complete show notes, please head on over to highenergygirl.com/show. Okay, you guys, thanks so much for listening, for watching. Please go out and make it a beautiful day. This podcast contains the opinion and thoughts of its host and guests. It is intended to provide helpful and informative material on the subjects covered. All statements made on the podcast have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If the listener requires professional assistance or advice, please contact your personal medical doctor. Both host and guest specifically disclaim any responsibility for any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the contents of these episodes. Like I said, this is my opinion and I could be wrong.